I would like to ask Representative Sapp to lead us in the invocation. Representative Sapp.
Heavenly Father, thank you for having us here today. We ask for your blessing, and we ask for your blessing amongst all Floridians, all of the state of Florida, all the United States, and our entire world as you look after us. Please guide us as we make decisions for the future of our state and our country. We ask that you look after all of us, and in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will you please call the roll?
Senator Leek?
Here.
Representative Sapp?
Here.
A quorum is present.
Look at that. Both of us are here. Folks, thank you very much for coming out. It's an honor for both of us to be here. It's an honor to represent Putnam County. I'm looking forward to hearing from each one of you, and as I typically do when I chair one of these, I'll start by giving you a couple of remarks on what I see coming in the next legislative session. And you know, when you guys, most of you are going to be here to talk about projects and things that you would like to get funded. You know, same as last year, same as always for me. I always like to hear that you guys have some skin in the game. You know, if the request is to come up and have the state fund 100% of what you want to do, then you probably don't have skin in the game. Always, you know, the rule of thumb is I always like to see 50%. And the more skin in the game, and the point is very simple. The more invested you are in the success of the project, the easier it is for us to justify investing in it. So when you come up here and you talk to us, you know, if you would please tell us about the project. If you want a project, tell us how you're invested in the project. And then we can move forward with the presentation. You know, this is kind of where I get in trouble, but you know, bluntly, I don't see any indications that the upcoming session will be much different than the last session. I do think we won't be there for 105 days, but call me an optimist. I think there will be continued pressure on the budget, and if you look at the revenue forecast, indeed the revenue forecasts indicate that revenue is slowing and the growth of spending is outpacing the revenue growth in future years coming, which means quite simply that we need to be you know, careful about what we budget and how much money we spend. As far as the, you know, I don't think we can deny the acrimony between the chambers and the acrimony between, honestly, the House and the governor. I don't see that changing. So, you know, I mean, if you're into novels, those little dicey novels, you might be worth watching. But I do think that we will end with a lot of, some good policy. I think we'll have some good policy come out this year. I think you'll have a lean budget that is good for the taxpayers. And I think that Putnam will get its fair share. I think that, you know, as things are, as the pie may get smaller this time, but Putnam's not going to be overlooked. And even if the pie gets smaller, you're going to get your fair share of whatever that pie is. And so with that, I'd like to invite Representative Sapp. If you have any opening remarks, you're welcome to make them.
Thank you, sir, Senator. And that just goes to show that Senator Leek and I do get along very well because he let me speak. So we're okay there. No, and in all seriousness, you're well represented by Putnam County. I'm blessed to have a great senator, and him and I and his office and our staffs worked amazing together for the good of the people that we represent. And that may or may not be true everywhere, but it is true here. And that's how we're able to punch above our weight class, by doing that. So thank you for your partnership on that. Look, I will say this too. At the end of the day, the good news is what's going on in Tallahassee is we're having discussions about how to be better fiscal stewards to your money. And we might just disagree on how that looks. And sometimes it gets a little heated, but the net result is often better for Floridians. So I encourage you to hold fast and enjoy the show. But the good news is the end result's probably going to be better for you. Sometimes tightening the belt, as anybody that's run a company knows, can be better for the long-term growth of the company. And I'm a business guy, and that's what I believe. But we're going to fight hard to bring back as much as we can. That's your fair share, like as Senator Leek said. So thank you for having us, and it's a pleasure to represent you.
You know, we've got a lot of elected officials in the audience. I think everyone I see is on the speaker list. Do we have any elected officials here who are not on the speaker list? If so, would you stand up and raise your hand? Otherwise, we'll recognize you when we get to the speaker list. Anybody not speaking? Okay. Well, then that takes me to my next point. As is the standard in Putnam County, we'll have 3 minutes per speaker. Representative Sapp and I will be around if you want to come and talk to us after, if you want to fill in some other things, that's fine. But be respectful of the other speakers behind you and stick to your 3 minutes if you would. I would tell you that Representative Sapp is keeping the 3-minute clock, and so if something goes wrong, it's clearly his fault. All right. So if you would like to address the delegation and have not yet submitted a speaker card, please fill out a card at the back of the table and return it to staff. And we will get started. And let's start with Leota Wilkinson, Chair of the Commission, Putnam County Board of Commissioners. I think we also have Vice Chair Larry Harvey, J.R. Newbold, Josh Alexander, Walton Pelliser, Terry Suggs, Julianne Young, and J.R. Grimes, and Legislative Coordinator Sam Sullivan.
Thank you, Senator Leek and Representative Sapp, for being here today. First, let me say we appreciate the partnership we have with you and the relationship we have with you and your staff. You guys are doing an absolute awesome job for Putnam County, and we hope to continue that relationship. First of all, we have a couple infrastructure needs that are critical to our county for quality of life items. Upgrades to the St. Johns Harbor water system. That system was privately owned and was basically handed to us, and I refer to it lovingly as the ugly baby. And the ugly baby was handed to us because DEP requires that once they go defunct, that the county then has to get it within 30 days. And it started with $1 million deficit right off the bat. And so we do have skin in the game. That project is, we've done all the engineering and drawings and everything to get it better and to expand the system to an additional customers, but that is something that we will be looking to you guys for, and maybe looking at to change some of the legislation on how that process works, because when you're fiscally constrained county and all of a sudden you get handed right off the bat a $2 million deficit, before they were out of compliance. So we have a lot to make up right there. In addition, we're looking for expansion of the wastewater system in East Palatka. Particularly, we have permit-ready drawings, and we've applied for DEP funding for a grant to expand the wastewater treatment system, and the amount of $10 million. So what we're looking for on that would be a support letter and letters of support for that grant application. Last year, you guys did championship the enterprise software system all the way through to the governor's office. It did make it in the budget, so we're hoping that we can get that again this year. And of course, expansion of our water and wastewater in the Bargeport area. It's essential to meet the needs of our future for our Bargeport and future development in that area. We did receive a grant last year of $2 million for a study for water and wastewater in North Putnam, and so we will be looking to figure that out and how we're going to continue that expansion. And so real quick, long-term, a couple things, supporting widening of State Road 100 in the future. We'd like to get that on a work plan with DOT, whether it's 10 years out, 5 years out. Also have some discussion regarding supporting a second bridge in the Palatka area. So those are some of the basic things that we have. And again, one other thing was our Duns Creek State Park, asking you guys to continue pushing that so that we can have that completed.
Thank you. I have a couple questions, if you don't
Yes,
mind.
sir.
These don't count against your minutes. First of all, what's the grand total of the amount you're seeking from the state?
We haven't tallied that up yet.
Okay, and you'll work with staff and you'll let me know that.
Yes, sir.
But, and then with regard to the widening of State Road 100, has your transportation planning organization ranked that, put that in priority? Do you know?
No, I do not know. We created a safety task force this year, and
Okay.
we've had a good relationship with FDOT, but we know that that's not on a plan for the future, and so that's something we'd like to have discussions about.
Okay, listen, I think it's a great project. I think also as you're working these through, I think it's true that every area has a TPO or equivalent. You guys don't?
No, sir, we do
You're
not.
not in another area?
No, sir, not that we're aware of.
Okay, tell me how it works in Putnam? You just out there floating on your own in Putnam?
Pretty much, yes, sir. We've been like
good
that for
Lord.
quite a while now. Like Chairwoman, Lady Wilkinson was saying, we created a public safety task force here and invited our stakeholders from DOT with us. So they're very much aware of the project. They've been very instrumental in helping us put some of this language together and moving it forward, trying to get it on expedited on the 5-year work plan, doing some widening, doing some updates to the 100 area there between around the Water Management District all the way into Clay County, because that's a very heavily traveled area. And as you know, we've had a lot of issues there with accidents and safety precautions there.
And I will add just real quick, that our TPO, that we did not get a seat at that table. That was St. John's, Clay, and Duval County. We did not get a seat at that table.
Okay. So when road projects coming through Putnam typically, I'm used to working with the TPO where they actually vet these initially and then they rank them and then those go to DOT and then DOT goes to the state and then we fund a work plan.
Yes, sir.
And what I'm trying to figure out is how we get your priorities into a work plan. And it sounds to me like that is directly to DOT?
That's the way it's been so far, yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
you.
Next up, Roberta Correa, Mayor Commissioner of City of Palatka. Did I say your last name correctly? Correa. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, Representative Sapp and Senator Leek. Welcome to our beautiful city of Palatka. I do have with me City Manager Marcia Cotti and Police Chief Jason Shore, who is also our acting Assistant City Manager at this time. I'm also a quick speaker, so, but what we really, and this is a continuation, and we know that things are going to be tight, but our priorities are water and wastewater infrastructure. We've replaced more than 6 miles of century-old cast iron lines up to this point, improving fire protection, water pressure, and water quality for our community. It's also key to the whole county. Palatka has the most capacity to expand, at least on the east side of the river, and work with the county so that we can continue process and economic development. So it is really significant to us. We also have transportation infrastructure needs, just like our wastewater and potable water lines. Our streets and such are quite old. Most of them are brick under asphalt over brick. So we need some restoration and work on those. Public safety, fire service equipment. We want to retain our Class 2 ISO rating, and so some of our equipment, significant equipment, which is high cost, needs replacement. And upgrading our industrial fleet for trash removal and such. And then economic development, we ended up with a parcel right next to City Hall. It used to be the Port Consolidated Building. It was a brownfield site. The mediation is going on as we speak. But to bring that up to a standard as a gateway entrance to our city, we're looking for that. And over the past several years and continuing, we've invested as a partner approximately $3 million in moving forward in some of these projects. So we know things, as I said, are going to be tight, but we still want to be optimistic.
Thank you. Do you mind if I ask a question real quick? And Representative Sapp, invite you to ask questions as well. Is there someone prepared to tell us what the city's commitment is, what the skin in the game is for each one of those projects and what the overall cost is?
Ms. Cotty's welcome to come up as well, but approximately $3 million, but if you'd like to come up and explain further.
Do I understand that to be $3 million as across all of those projects?
Yes, sir. During this fiscal year that's coming up, we have about $52 million worth of projects going on. Our investment as city match is between $3 million and $3.5 million. So that's where we are right now. But we also have other projects that are city funded, such as expanding and improving our roadways, going underground and correcting the things underground, and then resurfacing on top. We're also looking at the cobble stone roads as well. Additionally, we're purchasing a brand-new fire engine or ladder truck, and that's about $2 million right there, and that's city-funded as well. So we are doing a number of projects, not limited to grant-funded. So I would say minimally $3 million, but because of other projects, it could be actually $5 million.
Okay, and if you don't mind, and this is for everybody out there, when you come and present a project, if you don't mind telling me what the individual project cost is, and then what the city's specific commitment is to that project.
Yes,
Because when
sir.
we go, when you guys, when you're, if you want the best chance for success in getting your projects funded, and you're structuring what you're going to come and say to us, look at the project request forms, we call them LFIRs, and then you go through and it's going to ask you these questions. So before it ever becomes a project, these questions are going to have to get answered. So tell us what the amount of the project is, what the city's commitment is to that specific project, not what the general spend is, but what the city's commitment is to that general project. And that'll help us as we go through, and you're going to have to do it anyway when you fill out the forms.
Thank you, and we'll get that additional information to you. Thank
Right.
you.
Representative Sapp, you have any questions?
Just one other comment too, because anytime we're dealing with cities and counties, all that, when there is some crossover because of that, make sure to, it was very helpful when y'all have already coordinated too, versus us being the middleman to coordinate. The more coordination, the more that the county and cities and school board and Putnam's very good about that, but I call it rowing in the same direction, the more successful we can be for you in Tallahassee. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying you don't do it, but just something to keep in mind as we go forward with this. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's 100% correct, by the way. For everyone out there, if you are, if you're a city proposing a project within a county and you and the county align on your priorities, you have a much better chance of success. We have a much better chance of success for you. So next up, we have Michelle Myers, Mayor of Crescent City. How is Crescent City?
Crescent City is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Representative Sapp. I know you were just there recently. Thank you for visiting Crescent City. First and foremost, I want to introduce everyone. We've got Commissioner Lisa Kane DeVito. We have our new city manager, Derek Martin. We have our assistant city manager, Christina Marie. We have Commissioner Moore, and we have Commissioner Burton. Commissioner Laurie, unfortunately, could not be here this morning. And I want to start off first and foremost with thanking both of you for the leadership that you provided last year, especially on behalf of Crescent City. Our fire station, much needed, and it is in the works, and we are excited about that. Could not have happened without your support. So thank you for that. Thank you also for the water main improvement project that you helped us with, the first phase. And with that, it was an undersized and aging main that resulted in inadequate water supply, limited fire flow, and reduced reliability for residents and businesses. So our projects today, really are legislative priorities. We have two. The first one is to support the second phase of that project. The engineering, design, and permitting stages are ready and completed, and right now for that first phase, we're going out for bid for construction. We're estimating that should be, for that second phase, about $700,000. So we already have skin in the game on this one. Our second one is, we have a situation, and as you know, Crescent City is the land between the lakes. And so we have two lakes. One, of course, is Lake Crescent, which feeds into the St. Johns, but then we have our beautiful Lake Stella, which is a spring-fed lake. And that lake has tributaries throughout. We have an area that is vacant right now. We have developers that are looking at this area. Actually, they've purchased this area, and they are wanting to develop it. Unfortunately, we do not have a septic system there in place. So we are trying to work with them because they're looking at putting 13 homes with septic tanks on there. And so we need to do a sewer conversion in that area. and we have been working throughout the city already to try to get this. We were successful in one project where we prevented 9 homes from being built with septic tanks, and they're now in our sewer system. For that project, the engineering, design, and permitting have been completed, and the estimated cost for that project is about $500,000. And then we have just 2 items that we'd really ask for your support with. One of them, we ask you to please strongly support the funding of the Ride Solution Transportation Program in Putnam County. As you all know, South Putnam, we have, am I done, or is that my 1 minute?
You can finish.
In South Putnam, we have a lot of our residents are elderly or they have limited transportation. Ride Solutions does an outstanding job in providing them with the opportunity to come to the doctors, to do their business here in Palatka, and it's a much needed for our area. Also, we have the commission ask that you please support this next year for the special category grants for the historic preservation. As all of you know, a lot of Putnam County, we have historic monuments here. We have houses and buildings that are in desperate need of historic preservation, and we know how important that grant is, and last year it didn't make it, and so we just hope that this year that can become another priority. And again, we thank you both for everything. We'll be getting our paperwork into your offices, and Crescent City was very blessed, and it's only because of y'all. So thank you both.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. Next up, we have Matt Metz, Public Defender for the 7th Circuit. You're recognized.
Thank you, sir. Representative Sapp and Senator Leek, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to speak about the issues that matter to our different organizations. And I also want to thank you for your commitment to funding the constitutional protections for our citizens, specifically the right to counsel. You know, the public defenders across the state represent over 500,000 criminal clients every single year. Locally, we've represented over 30,000 criminal cases in the 7th Circuit with just 60 trial attorneys this past year. You have done an amazing job having us at record level fundings for all assistant public defender salaries and benefits. Despite that, as we all know, sometimes as we try to make those ends come closer together, they find a way to spread farther apart. It's harder to make those ends meet. What we've seen is that it is harder and harder to get quality attorneys coming out of law school that are willing to work in public service. We're doing everything we can on our side to put our skin in the game. As was seen last year, we gave up a number of empty positions we simply couldn't fill just to ensure that we're only funding those positions that are filled. I myself go out to law schools just this week. I was in University of Florida sitting under the hot sun in the atrium begging folks with cold candy to come over and learn about being a public defender. We're doing that across the state. Despite this, what we're finding is that fewer and fewer people are interested in public service. So to ensure that those folks are willing and able to serve, we need to ensure that we're paying them adequately. One of the big asks for the Florida Public Defender Association is going to be a starting salary of $80,000 across the board. This is going to vary on circuit to circuit for how much money it will be. Some circuits are already paying between $75,000 and $80,000. Miami, Tampa, larger circuits. Smaller ones are paying somewhere between $65,000 and $70,000. The total ask is likely around $14 million across the state of Florida for all public defenders' offices. We're also looking to bring closer alignment the amount of money being paid to state attorneys and public defenders. Currently, the amounts vary, but we've identified 8 circuits, including the 7th, that don't actually get even 55% of the funding of their state attorneys' offices. That total amount would come close to $13 million. I looked at the numbers recently for just the felony cases in Volusia. We represent over 60% of all felony cases from beginning to completion, along with a number of other services for some of those cases that we don't represent the entire time. Despite that, we get funded significantly less proportionally for the cases. And lastly, there have been a number of new judges appointed to the different circuits by the legislature, and we always appreciate the help on the judicial side, but we do need comparative funding for the services. I'm sure the clerk, the state attorney's office, and ourselves are going to be asking for those. The last thing I'd like to point out is that while we have noted there's likely going to be an austere budget and maybe a slowdown in some of the growth and economic development we've seen across the state of Florida, we're one of the few organizations that as the economy slows down, our work speeds up. Because of that, we tend to see a little bit of more work in representing criminal defendants, and we're asking your help for that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Just real quickly,
Absolutely.
you said that, I think you said that you have 55% of the funding that state prosecutors get. Is that correct?
No, so we've identified 8 circuits that don't get 55 that we're trying to bring up to that level.
Okay.
The 7th Circuit being one of them.
Okay. And what, so the state prosecutors, for those who don't live in that world, they prosecute all cases. Public defenders defend some cases. So what is the percentage of cases that public defenders defend compared to what the whole is that the prosecutors bring?
Well, we haven't been able to find exact numbers. Our estimates are somewhere between 60 and 66% of all cases in the criminal realm. And what's notable about that is there are a number of cases that we'll begin representing, but will get dismissed because of our efforts that won't actually count to our totals. It looks like somewhere between 6% become conflicts and somewhere between 17 and 20% hire private counsel. So it's likely that we're doing the effort for somewhere between 70 and 60% of all criminal cases throughout the state of Florida.
Okay, and finally, have you considered trying to attract the college kids with beer instead of candy?
If we can change some of those state rules about how we can use our money, I'll be happy to. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, appreciate it. Next up, Matt Reynolds, Clerk of the Circuit Court. You're recognized.
Thank you, Senator Leek and Representative Sapp. Thank you both for giving me the opportunity to get up today and speak with both of you. And just want to take a quick moment to thank both of you for all of your hard work last year in the legislature. It was a very difficult session, but both of you represented us extremely well, and I am very glad to call both of you my senator and my representative. So thank you for that. Clerks Association this year, our legislative priorities will be focused on closing our funding shortfall for our courtside funding. Senator Leek, I'm sure you're very aware of our funding struggles. Clerk Roth in Volusia County, I know that you have spoken with her multiple times about her struggles down there. But we're hoping this year to approach it from several different angles. Our budget shortfall on the state side this year is estimated around $75 million, and it's been growing for the past few fiscal years. Fines and fees will be something that we're going to be coming to you guys about. For the most part, they haven't changed since about 2008, and it's very difficult to continue doing business at the same rate as 2008. That's one avenue that we're going to be chatting with you guys about. Another one will be funding for cases that we currently don't receive any revenues for, indigent cases, domestic violence injunctions, those types of cases. The structure is in the law for them to be funded. They just haven't been funded in the past. Another one would be funding for jury duty. We currently receive $11.7 million statewide, and that only covers about 70% of the actual jury costs statewide. And all of that kind of occurs, our budget shortfall, when it occurs on the court side, it ends up either falling on the county or just us not having the resources to be able to get it done. So I'm sure that that'll be something that you hear from Clerk Patty too. I think his deficit on this court side that the county backfills is about $800,000. Mine is around $300,000. So again, we'll be having chats on it as we get more into the weeds with the legislative session with both of you. And again, thank you both for just giving me the chance to come up here and speak with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Always
you.
good to hear from you.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to take up Superintendent Rick Surrency and Kathleen Holzknecht, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, with Education Foundation of Putnam County. You're recognized.
Good morning, Senator Leek and Representative Sapp. Appreciate you being here today and moving us into the agenda today. I want to introduce Renee Huff. She's our Director of Career and Technical Education, and of course, along with Kathleen, who's the head of our Educational Foundation. First, I want to thank you for your previous support of our schools and our community. Last year, you funded a $337,000 project to support our aviation program to help our high school students towards earning a private pilot's license. And I'm proud to say that we've already had 4 students fly solo already. So we're very proud of that. And together we're building a bright future not only for Putnam County but for Northeast Florida. Hopefully these students can go on and earn a commercial pilot's license. which is very much a need. And before I begin talking about our requests, I just want to ask you that both of you ask for your support for the Rural Renaissance Bill that we anticipate coming up again this year. And that's going to be a transformative bill, not only for the school district, but for our rural counties. So that's very much, we're very much in support of that. As a school system, we must build a steady supply of skilled workers through targeted career technical education programs in alignment with industry needs, and we strive to ensure that our graduates are well equipped to enter the workforce or pursue higher education in lucrative fields necessary to the local industry. This year, we will request an appropriation that creates an engineering academy at Interlochen Junior Senior High School. And this program is Engineering Pathways. And the target audience would eventually be 240 students served in grades 7 through 12. And these courses offered within this pathway would be Introduction to Engineering Design, Principles of Engineering, and Aerospace Engineering. And students will be enrolled in 3 courses in sequence, and other courses within this pathway may be considered in future years as we expand. So, do you have any questions at all about that?
About that specific project?
Yes, sir.
Not about that specific project, but I do have some questions. When you
Okay. So again, and we actually met with Representative Sapp, and this will be a phased-in program, probably over 3 years as we continue to build it out. So any consideration will be appreciated. But you had a question, Senator Lee?
My question's a little bit off topic of what you've, so if you have anything more, go ahead.
No,
If
that's
anybody-
it.
okay.
That's it.
My question is, I'm a huge proponent of moving children or moving school kids into the trades. It's where the opportunities are, it's where the income is, and there, sometimes we get bound up between what's K through 12 and what's VOTEC and the like. And so my question really to you is does the district do anything material to move kids toward the trades, whether they're on a college track or not, but to move kids toward the trades?
Absolutely, and I'm glad you asked that, because actually the legislature has helped us to fund 3 building construction academies over the past 4 years. So we are very much in the trades, and actually have building a brand new junior senior high school in South Putnam, equipped with the building construction academy, welding, automotive. So we are very much into the building trades.
So I thought I understood that. Go ahead, you.
We're adding, in that building, we're adding a new automotive program at Crescent City Junior Senior High School. We opened our building construction program, this is its 2nd year.
Excellent.
And we also opened our Interlochen program. This is our 4th year, and Palatka High School got opened this year. And we're still working on outfitting his shop and getting things together from our funds that we were able to get last year.
Do you all have measurements of success? I mean, how do you, I think this should be part of the state's grading of schools. But do you have any numbers or measurements of success where you can tell me how many kids are successfully moving through that program to a job?
You want to talk about industry certification?
Okay, so we do have our industry certifications, and another one of the programs that we have that's real large in the three main high schools is welding. So we have our students come out with 3 welding certifications, and usually they have jobs before they leave school.
I know that to be the case, yes, that's
Yes,
great.
sir. And then our automotive program, we have just one right now at Palatka High, and they come out, and we have our partner in the Beck Group with the automotive industry here in our community, and we have many of them that have internships or jobs already whenever they have their industry certifications and they graduate. This past year was our first year with the building construction of taking their industry credential with Interlochen and with Crescent City, and they also come out with OSHA 10 certification. We also have our students with that, and our students have been able to, we're doing better to get tracking out there to see where they go, but they are able to get jobs.
That's excellent, and I'll just tell you, I would be very receptive to seeing more project requests for students going into the trades.
And also, just to add on, we are partnering with Space Florida, where a lot of these occupations can actually transfer over into those type jobs too. So very excited about that. So,
I'll tell you, the other thing I'd be interested in seeing is where those students are, when they take jobs, where are they going?
yeah, and I know we've had some up in Green Cove Springs, and of course, a lot of construction is going on now in our county with schools being built, so a lot of opportunities, yeah.
Yes, and thank you. And also, and this is, Putnam is very good at this as a whole, but just like you mentioned earlier, with one of your requests, our offices are assets to you. We're going to try to do what we can no matter what, but thank you. We met pre and we're able to kind of fine tune it to get to somewhere, and you can use both of our offices sometime. Senator Leak represents a heck of a lot more people than me, so I'm a little bit easier to pan down, even though I also have 4 counties. But we want to be an asset, and this is a case in point. And I'm not using your time, so I'll say also Crescent City, you were very successful because of the process you worked through with us last year of having working with us to let you be successful, and so it works. We are here to be a help. So. Thank you so much for phrasing it and bringing it to us like that.
I really appreciate it, and if you don't mind, I'd like to call Kathleen up very briefly and just let you know what our foundation is doing.
Sure.
Good morning. Representative Leak, or Senator Leak, Representative Sapp.
It's okay, I'm used to it.
Thank you so much for coming. This is my first time addressing you, so I hope I meet your expectations. So I'm Executive Director of the Education Foundation. We work very closely with Rick and the district and their team in understanding what their needs are and helping them achieve their goals. So one area that we've been focusing on, as they talked about, is career technical education. And thank you for the past 2 years in support of our appropriations. Primarily, it's been in the aerospace industry. And again, when you talk about jobs, it's all about economic job development. We see this as a pipeline. So these kids, either they graduate with certifications or they go on to college with the consortium in the Northeast Florida area that eventually pipelines to the Space Coast. And so we see that as kind of our vision for this. So for this year, we would like to put an appropriation in for support and expansion of the career technical education for job growth in the areas of engineering, advanced manufacturing, STEM, and aeronautics. So our skin in the game is we currently, as a foundation, support STEM programs, engineering programs, and aviation programs within the district. One little known fact about this that I've just recently learned is the STEM programs in the elementary schools actually go to help 3rd grade reading scores. That is something that's a national problem, and by getting these kids excited about their projects, an unintended consequence is they learn to read because they're incented and they're excited. So we think that our request will be less than $1 million, somewhere between 500 and $1 million. And like I said, our skin in the game is we currently do this. We just really are looking to expand what we do.
Gotcha.
So, any questions?
No, ma'am, thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to both of you, okay, for your support.
Thank you. Next up, the one and only President Joe Pickens, St. John's River State College. You recognize?
Thank you, Senator Leak. Gentlemen, I think most people are pretty pleased that there's only one of me.
You wouldn't get 6 minutes if there were 2 of you. You'll still get 3.
Thank you. I want to follow up very quickly with your conversation with the public defender. Given that we've opened our new student housing project, are you suggesting to me that perhaps the first unauthorized event that comes to the attention of the president is more likely to be a beer party than a candy party?
I'm not suggesting that, but if it happens, can you tell me where it is?
All right. I will let you know. Look, Senator, nobody knows, except for perhaps Paul Renner and Bobby Payne, how much you personally and the legislature has invested in the college over the last 3 years. And I alluded to that last year, and I want to repeat it again. What we're asking for this year is not simply, but the 3rd year of the funding of our STEM building, technology building, renovation and creation, actually, that you started when you were in the Florida House. And our skin in the game, being the nature of PICO, is we are asking for the full funding of that particular building. But our skin in the game in the Palatka campus is a total investment of $70.5 million for Putnam County, only $28 million coming directly from the legislature through this PICO request. $20 million coming from the first ever public-private partnership for the student housing, and the balance coming from our saving of our capital improvement fee and our judicious use of the money that you invested in the college recurring-wise 2 years ago and 3 years ago, and transferring it to Fund 7 to do the renovation of the Florida School of the Arts, the library, and the infrastructure projects that we needed to support all of this construction. So we want and are asking for you to finish the investment that you've started with year 3 of $9,386,000. That will complete the $28 million. I will be asking each of you to again fill out the forms that are necessary to complete that project. And it will allow us to change the technology building to focus totally on the programs that you just mentioned you wanted to see, and the addition of about 25,000 square feet of STEM education building. So that is what that program is about. If there are no questions about that, I want to move on to a completely separate topic. You're going to hear from Dr. Anand Kuravilla right after me. Nobody, except perhaps the person who was with him, John Wolfenden, and Ifti Ahmad, have done more for the healthcare community in Putnam County over the last 30 or 40 years than them. When he speaks to you, I ask that you listen to him closely. Dr. Kuravilla knows of what he speaks, and the change of the designation that he is asking for to a geographic HPSA from a low-income situation for Putnam County would make all of the difference in the world in our ability to recruit and retain doctors. A community does not thrive without a healthy healthcare community, and we need this change in order to achieve that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with that introduction, Dr. Anand Kuravilla.
Thank you, Senator and Representative Sapp. With me is Dr. John Wolfenden. Many in the audience know him. He's a retired gynecologist, and Landon Smith, this little guy, is our hospital CEO. He was fed too much. He was actually born in our hospital. So that's true. I don't know how to get this going.
So pause.
First, thank you for the opportunity, and President Pickens, thank you for those kind words. I'll tell you all a funny story. I called the organizers and wanted to know the format, and so I wanted to know when I would be speaking. So the sweet lady said, well, we have to let the dignitaries go first. So I said, what do you mean dignitary? What am I? So then I kind of said, I think President Pickens is going to give me some of his time. Next thing, I get a call from President Pickens, and he's busy boxing my ears and telling me, you can't do that. And so I've been...
We do kind of need to stick to the 3 minutes, Dr. Kuravilla, so
all right, sorry
if you
about
could get started.
So in front of you, I think you have a presentation, and there's only one slide, and the real request is that we request you, our legislators, to intercede with the Department of Health that was provided an application back in February, I believe, to give us this designation, this HPSA designation. It's a physician shortage area. The required ratio in red below that, it says 3,000 patients for one physician. In Putnam, the number is 4,820. So we clearly meet the requirement, right? So what does this do for us? This, initially what it does is for Medicare people we take care of, we get a 10% increase, right? So we are losing physicians left, right, and center. We cannot get specialists to come to the community, And below you'll see a list of the specialists we have lost. So what we're hoping, if we get this designation, we would be able to attract specialists from other communities who will send a doctor here to take care of our patients if they get that added incentive, right? So we are struggling. Our primary care doctor population has dwindled to literally 5 doctors. Think about that. There are 75,000 people in the community. There are 5 private practice doctors left. Half these guys are not, almost all of them are almost as old as I am. I'm 74 years old. So what's going to happen if we do not get some help from you all? So all we're asking you to do is take, I don't know how to say this correctly, but take a cane and whack the heads of these bureaucrats who are holding this up. What exactly is their problem, right? We have been reaching out to them, and Landon, who's our administrator, has been talking to them, and we're getting nowhere. And
Can I
there's
ask
one
a
other
question,
matter.
Dr. Cravilla?
Yes.
So does the designation come from the state or from the federal government?
Comes from the state. The state has to bless it. There's no state dollars involved. They don't have to pay a cent.
I just want to make sure that I'm focusing my attention in the right place.
Yes.
So the state has to bless it, and then it comes from the feds, is that correct?
Yes, and the feds are willing to do it. Congressman Fine's office is waiting to push it through.
And what is he waiting on so we can
For
do
the
that?
state to give him a piece of paper saying, yes, these guys meet the criteria.
And that currently is being held up at the Department of Health?
And the person's name is there for you. It's on the 3rd line, Kerry Anderson, Taggart, and there's a phone number. I see that. Right?
Okay.
So it's right there, just pick up the phone, you guys, and I know Shorty has been talking to them. I don't know what the problem is. Do you know Representative Sapp? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but.
The problem is they're not answering. That's the sum of it. But we try them every Monday. We're back on the phone, and I think we're calling them 3 times a week now. And obviously, we'll work with the senator on trying to resolve that to see if he can push him. He is a little bit more powerful than me.
So I think we can solve the not answering problem. And we'll do that.
Thank you.
And then, so do you know, is there a problem with the application? Or, I mean, is this just bureaucratic red tape, or what do we?
Let me allow Landon to address that.
Sure, and this doesn't count against your time because I'm asking questions. So.
Sure. So not to my knowledge, so we submitted the application. First of all, this is a 10% incremental reimbursement for Medicare patients for physicians. So for billing on the hospital side, it does not impact us. We started this process because I believe in that by recruiting more physicians in the community, we can improve the overall health of the community. And so we engaged a consultant to do the analysis for is our ratio for people to primary care doctors greater than the geographic HPSA threshold? The answer to that is yes. So it's over 4,000 residents per physician. So we submitted that to the state, and then it's incumbent upon the state to review and approve that application, and then they send it to HRSA, and then HRSA approves it, and then the reimbursement comes at a quarterly payment directly to physicians that take care of patients in the geographic HPSA, which would be Putnam County. And so that's been with the state since March. They asked us for an attestation on the data. We signed that. We've had a little bit of communication back with them, but it's been very minimal. Essentially a recommendation to stay a low-income HPSA, which we've been for 28 years, and have seen a decline in the members of the medical staff in our community.
I mean, could we make it any more complicated? Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. You had something else, Dr. Cravilla?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really quickly, while we're going to the next person too, obviously, it is always disappointing to us up in Tallahassee when government agencies aren't getting back to you, and that's often why you lean on us, and that's what we're here for. I hate when that's a response that they won't even return my call on this, and we're going to try to get a resolution to it as quickly as possible, and the Senator's office and mine will work together to try to solve it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Next up, Brad McBride, Florida Guardian Ad Litem Office. Mr.
morning,
Bragg,
Senator Lee.
you're recognized.
Good morning, Representative Sapp. As you heard, I'm with the Guardian Ad Litem Office. We are appointed and represent all of the children in the state of Florida that end up in the dependency system that are abused, neglected, or abandoned. Our legal representation at this point, we apply both an attorney, we have a certified case manager, and we have a certified volunteer from each community that comes in and helps us transition through these cases in the dependency courtroom. Our legal representation protects and advances the rights of children whose age and circumstances does not allow them to advocate for themselves. In 2024, the statewide Guardian Office, we represented 31,622 children statewide. In Putnam County, we represent 126 children. Here in Putnam alone, 650 in the circuit itself, Circuit 7. All of these have community partners. We have volunteers. So all of these kids are kids of our counties, every county in Circuit 7. Last year marked the first time in our history that we've had sufficient resources to care for every child that is assigned to us across the state. We are grateful to the governor and the legislature. Y'all recognize in statute to try to help some of the older kids that we serve by looking at and put it in statute that mentors are an important aspect to these children as they start looking towards the age of 18 and aging out. As you can imagine, 18 years old and being in foster care for a good portion of your life, there's a lot of things that are going to be needed. And mentors have been a very significant help. Mentors from each community. It's helpful to have these kids have someone they can connect to and kind of help them transition out. And as of today, there are about 1,200 teens in our system that have an identified mentor. So as we kind of look forward to what's coming up in this year's legislative session, we have about 2 requests of continued support that we have in 2 key areas. Obviously, we're grateful for the support that's been provided by the legislature the past few years, but we do anticipate requesting salary adjustments, and kind of what you've heard earlier. The salary adjustments are based on the fact that in our situation, our staff salaries have not kept pace with those that are comparable to us as state agencies. And we are increasingly challenged. There's people that come and poach us and take us other places, and we need to kind of keep track and make sure that we keep these folks that are highly qualified in our system helping the children in the state of Florida. And the other part of that is again, I can't say it enough, we're deeply grateful for the legislator's ongoing commitment to the mission of the Florida Guardian Ad Litem Office. Your leadership and policy decisions have shown that representing children in the state of Florida is a high priority for all the leaders in Tallahassee. And we look forward to working with you in the upcoming session. And I appreciate your time if you have any questions for me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both.
Next up, Salvatore Gentoli, Stuart Marchmanack, Healthcare. You're recognized.
Good morning. Senator Leek and Representative Sapp, thank you so much for having us here today. I've got Nancy Russo, the Vice President of SMA Services here in Putnam County. First and foremost, I want to thank you both for your continued support of SMA Healthcare and for your support of the mental health of all Floridians. During this last marathon session that was held, your support manifested in an increase for behavioral health funding throughout the entire state of Florida. During a time of much-needed fiscal reconciliation, we heard the message from Tallahassee loud and clear that the residents of Florida need to think about their mental health just as much as they do their physical health, and we greatly appreciate the message that was sent. This past fiscal year in Putnam County, we served over 1,700 people. At our Palatka office, we offer primary care, outpatient therapy, psychiatry, and case management to people of all ages. In addition to these services, we provide behavioral health prevention and intervention to middle school and high school kids. We have a drop-in center for adults who have severe and persistent mental illnesses, and we provide medication-assisted treatment for people with substance use disorders, as well as Florida Assertive Community Treatment for adults with severe mental illnesses. A few months ago in July, we started a new assisted outpatient treatment program. Through this program, we're working with the court system to ensure that people who have multiple hospitalizations, psychiatric hospitalizations that is, over the course of a year, are adjudicated to attend the outpatient services that they need to stay stable and healthy in our community. In November, we're opening up a 15-bed residential and reentry program. This 6-month program will serve women and men with substance use disorders with a primary focus on individuals involved in the criminal justice system. Fentanyl and opioids continue to be a scourge on our county. We have an overdose rate that is twice that of the state of Florida. This program, this residential program, will help to reduce the number of overdoses in Putnam County. It will help reduce recidivism, and it'll put people on the path to long-term recovery by helping them build the skills they need for successful reintegration into our community. We are working on a legislative budget request, and we'll be asking for your support with this project. I'm very happy to report that we've been able to lower the amount of the request from $1.6 million down to around $700,000. It's still in the works, but we'll be sure to demonstrate that we've got skin in the game, and also will highlight our collaboration with Putnam County to that end. So once again, we thank you greatly for your support.
Thank you. I know SMA for a long time, and you guys do great work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Dennis Souza, the Arc of Putnam County.
Good morning, Senator Leek and representative staff. Thanks for hearing me. My name is Dennis Souza, and I have the honor of serving as the CEO of the Arc of Putnam County. We're a nonprofit organization that supports individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Currently, we serve 120 individuals and employ a dedicated team of 100 staff here in Putnam County. And we work every day to help the people live, work, and thrive independently in the community. First, I want to thank you on behalf of the ARC for the last 2 legislative sessions. You guys, the legislature really helped us out. We're incredibly grateful for the support with the recent legislative appropriations. Thanks to that investment, we were able to expand our facilities and upgrade our aging fleet, which is really important for transportation in a rural county. Today, I'm actually here to ask for your continued support, this time for the ARC of Florida's 2026 legislative platform. As a collective, we all support each other. Home and community-based services are the foundation and care to many families in Florida. These services ensure that people with disabilities have access to safe, person-centered support in their communities. But rising costs, staff wages, health insurance, liability coverage, training, regulatory compliance are putting the pressure on all of us. Let me put this into perspective here. We're asking people to take on essential and often challenging work for caring for our most vulnerable, while people at local businesses like Wawa or Target are getting higher wages, and they're not responsible for the health welfare of people. Without sustained rate adjustments, organizations like the Arc of Putnam County simply can't keep up, and its providers can't keep the doors, and families lose access to consistent high-quality services. That's why we're requesting increased funding for the 2026 legislative session to ensure providers like us can continue offering the services that help individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities live fulfilling, independent lives. Again, thank you for your time, your commitment to serving Florida.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up, Willie Lozen, Putnam Land Conservancy.
Give you a handout?
Sure.
This is a copy of our newsletter. Just
Thank you.
familiarize with who we are. Well, good morning. I'm Willie Lozen with the Putnam Land Conservancy. Honored to be here. Thank you all for being here to listen to us. We're a not-for-profit land trust based here in Putnam County, and our mission is conserving land for people and wildlife. And I'm here today to encourage you all to support conservation land acquisition funding. In particular, the Florida Forever program. That program has been essential in protecting our state's natural areas. They're important for the economy. A large part of our tourism relies on our natural areas, green infrastructure, and just quality of life. And in Florida, we have what's known as the Florida Wildlife Corridor. And it's proposed a corridor of protected lands all the way from the Everglades to the Okefenokee Swamp and then out the Panhandle. And in order to complete that corridor, which is essential, again, for all the things I told you, for green infrastructure, for quality of life, for the economy, we need funding. It just can't happen without funding. So that's critical. We need consistent, adequate funding for Florida Forever and for the other land acquisition programs. The Department of Agriculture has a great program too, the Rural and Family Lands, but these programs, they act together to do different things, but they're both very critical, one for agriculture, one for natural lands. So that funding, predictable, adequate funding is essential because projects take years, as you all know, for other infrastructure projects to complete. And what does it do for our area of this part of North Central Florida and Putnam County? Well, a really important part of the Florida Wildlife Corridor goes right through the center of Putnam County, up from Ocala National Forest to Camp Blanding and then over to Osceola National Forest. And over the last couple of years, our organization has brought back to Putnam County millions of dollars. By the end of this year, about $20 million over the last couple of years to preserve our green infrastructure here in Putnam County for our way of life. And so we're bringing that state funding back to Putnam County at no charge to the county or to the public. Land trusts work cooperatively with the Florida Forever program. We don't get paid by them. We're not for profit. We're supported by the general public, and we work to further those state programs. So we're partners with the state and with the county and local governments. How much time do I have left? Oh, well, also, on another note, I wanted to encourage you all to support property tax reform, not just for homestead, but also for vacant natural lands, which provide a service. They don't require services, and our taxes on those vacant lands continue to go up and up as property values increase. And so it makes it hard for people to own land just to protect for quality of life. Thank you for listening.
Well, thank you.
Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
I don't have any questions, but I do believe that you will continue to see record funding going into conserving Florida lands, as you've seen in the last, I think, 4 years in a row now. So.
Yeah, last legislative session was a bit lower than necessary, but yeah, thank you.
All right, next up, Dr. Christine Caulfield, Lutheran Services. You're recognized.
Oh, thank you so much. Good morning, Senator Leek and Representative Sapp. Again, my name is Dr. Christine Caulfield. I'm the CEO of LSF Health Systems, which is your managing entity for North Central Northeast region. We're responsible for managing 100 outstanding provider organizations that serve our individuals here in Florida that are indigent, uninsured, or underinsured that live with mental health and or substance use disorders. We are the safety net system of the behavioral health system of care, so we're very grateful for your support of all of us. And as Tori said from SMA, we appreciate your leadership and the recognition that mental health and substance use disorders really need to be recognized. We are currently continuing to be in a mental health crisis in this country. So many families are living with the pain of addiction, and so we have so appreciated your funding support in the past and really ask that you continue that funding because the Chamber just announced that we have about 750 individuals daily that are moving to Florida, and so for many they carry the burden of struggles with mental health and substance use disorders. We receive our funding from the Department of Children and Families, and oftentimes it comes in very restrictive silos, and it doesn't allow us as managing entities to be able to quickly shift available funding in some of these silos into what's really needed in the community. So we're asking for your help in more flexibility for funding so that we can address our community needs rapidly and more easily and efficiently. Community-based care is absolutely essential, as our 23-county region contains both urban and rural communities, and we know each and every one of those counties inside and out. We know the variety of stakeholders in our communities, including law enforcement, judicial systems, city and county leaders, school systems, businesses, community care providers, and we get together quickly to address any gaps in services, try to blend and braid resources. So we really thank you for your continued support of community-based care. It's essential because each community is different, they have unique needs, and we're there to support them as a community-based care system. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Herb Sonis, citizen. And as we move into the citizen testimony here, I want to... Okay, thank you. I want to stop and introduce our staff because the folks who've spoken to us to this point probably know how the process works, but the citizens, I want to make sure you know who to contact in our office. So my staff, as we're sitting over here today, is Danielle Kerbo, Lynette Phillips, and Victoria Laird. You can find, depending on where you're located up here, you'd probably want the St. Augustine office. We also have one in Volusia. But you can find the offices on the website. Feel free to call or email any one of those. They'll help you work through the worksheets that you've got to get through if you want a project or help you out with your issues. But feel free to contact anyone in our office. So is that?
Yes, thank you so much. And I'm here with my legislative aide, Shorty Robbins, and she takes point on legislative issues, so and appropriations requests. The head of my constituents is Tammy Still. If you have constituents, it's always good to go through her first, and then Samantha Rent. Did I just mispronounce your last name, Samantha? I never call her by her last name since I've known her forever, but is my other district aide, and she also assists with constituent concerns and helps me on she helps in all aspects of the office, but please reach out to us, and you will find as you go forward with this that a lot of our best bills come from citizens, so your time here is not wasted, even though it's only 3 minutes, and that does not mean that we're not going to reach out to you separately, or you should not reach out to our office separately, because we're limited on time, and we might have follow-up questions that we don't ask today because it's going to take 20 minutes to talk to you about it. So please remember that. It's not when we say your time's up, it's not because we're not going to talk to you again. It's because probably, the time's up, and we'll reach out, or you'll reach out to finish this conversation off.
Thank you for stretching that out. I was figuring something out. I appreciate that. Your efforts did not go unnoticed. I appreciate it. So we have some citizens who have signed up in advance. We're going to take them up first. Herb Sones. Going once, going twice. All right, next up we have Ann Salamone. Hopefully I said that correctly.
Beautifully.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Get it one time. Good.
Okay.
You're welcome.
All right, so thank you so much for having all of us here this morning, and I particularly want to thank you for actually problem solving. Very much appreciate it. Okay, so I'm a business owner in biomedical engineering, for all the engineering discussions earlier, for more than 50 years. I'm a mother and I'm a constituent. The topic or my commentary is in service to you as well as to our community. The number of people labeled as sex offenders in Florida has grown dramatically because Florida has created scores of new sexual offenses, many of which are not offenses in other states or other countries. In 1994, when the sex offender registry originated, only people who raped and physically hurt others were on the registry. Now people are on the registry who were trying at home to help their autistic child who was inappropriately touching someone, and they delayed going to therapy. Now both the parent and the child are on the registry. 2, people who inadvertently, out of curiosity, clicked on a sex advertisement or Twitter set and didn't delete it. 3, people who met someone and had consensual sex or petting, only to find out he or she was a minor. 4, people who were lonely and responded to a sting operation, thinking they were communicating with someone who really cared about them, only to be arrested by a SWAT team. 5, people who texted friends sexy images. This is particularly a problem in our middle schools and our high schools. And 6, People who unknowingly, that is, committed a sexual offense. Why? Because it's an early sign of onset dementias. Not surprisingly, given the broad range of sexual offenses, recidivism of a sex offense is 1%, according to recent Florida Department of Corrections data, and supported by academic evidence-based research. Many people labeled as sex offenders didn't intend to break the law, and/or sex was not the driving factor. The woke vilification of sex offenders should be recognized as an effort to distract law enforcement. So what can we do as citizens and legislators? Understand that many people labeled as sex offenders are good people that want to support their families, help others, and give to their communities. And 2, allow law enforcement to focus on high-risk cases and offenses. So thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Next up, Amanda Hayes.
Good morning. It's great to see y'all again, and thank you for allowing me to speak and for being here. So my name is Amanda Hayes, and I am here as an advocate for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families, but more importantly, as a mom. My son Jaden, who has severe autism, was approved for the iBudget waiver a year and a half ago and now thrives in a group home residential setting. This has given him independence and a quality of life that would not have been possible without the waiver. Getting to this point, though, was not easy. Jaden was initially denied during the crisis process, and it took nearly a year of fighting to reverse the decision. 2 years ago, I stood in this very spot at a delegation meeting, and I cried, and I'm trying not to. I traveled to Tallahassee, and only after a chance encounter with the Agency for Persons with Disabilities director at that time did we finally receive full approval. That experience showed me firsthand how difficult it is to navigate the system to get help, but thankfully it worked out for us. But no parent should ever have to fight this hard to make sure their child has the chance to live with dignity in the community of their choice. Now, Jaden's success story is what I wish for every family, but too many families are still waiting, some for more than a decade. Today, over 20,000 individuals remain on the APD waiting list statewide, including 61 in Putnam County. I meet caregivers every day who don't even know who APD is, so I'm sure that numbers should be even higher. Families live with the fear of not knowing what will happen to their child when they're no longer able to care for them. Caregivers are exhausted, and services like respite and personal supports are drastically underutilized because families can't access them without being on the waiver. And once on the waiver, they can be difficult to navigate due to a critical shortage of waiver support coordinators who are necessary to access services. These services aren't offered by regular insurance, and community nonprofits can't fill holes and service gaps because the care needed is ongoing and requires specialized training and complex liability insurance coverage to protect a vulnerable population. I'm asking that you keep families like mine in mind. The iBudget waiver is not just a program, guys. It's the difference between despair and hope, between isolation and community. And Jaden is thriving today because of it. I'm sorry. It changed our lives. So please continue to strengthen and protect this program so that every family has a choice and the same opportunity for dignity, stability, and independence. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. And you have my continued commitment to clear out that waiting list.
Thank you.
Folks, we've been, actually we thought we had it done at one point in time. The numbers seem to be a little bit fluid. But we continue to try and make an emphasis of clearing that waiting list, which is why it's down significantly from where it was. But we won't stop until we get it cleared out.
I appreciate it. And you guys have made such a huge difference in the past few years, so we do appreciate that. Thank you.
Next up, Lisa Kane DeVito.
Thank you, Senator Leek, Representative Sapp.
Thank you very much for how you work together to help Putnam County. I am here as a citizen. As you may know, I reside in the middle of Crescent City, Florida. I live in a home that's belonged to my family for 84 years, right across from Evil Lion Park, where the Catfish Festival is. I'm here to speak about something that is having a great effect on citizens and businesses of South Putnam County and also in Putnam County. And it's something that I have a background in. I have been a volunteer now for 38 years, since I lived in Tallahassee and Tampa, in helping provide shelter and housing for people who are homeless and people who suffer from a variety of disabilities. In Tallahassee, as a young working person with First Presbyterian Church, we established the first homeless shelter in Tallahassee that operated for a quarter of a century. As well, I've served on a board of Homeless Continuum of Care. I was appointed by Governor Jeb Bush to a task force statewide on homelessness. I served on the first 4 years that the Department of Children and Families had the State Homeless Council. I chaired that for 2 years. And I've also been involved with my church and individually in providing individual services, trying to connect people with food and housing. Currently, my church in Crescent City, First Presbyterian, provides the facility that the South Putnam Christian Service Center uses. So I'm very familiar with what I'm talking about. Thank you for increasing funding last year for homelessness services and housing. The particular problem I see is that it is very difficult for this funding to make its way to a rural county like Putnam, who is part of a 5-county continuum of care, and even more difficult for that funding to make its way to serve people in isolated rural South Putnam. In Crescent City, we experience people living in our parks, which technically is not allowed. We have people living in private homes that have been abandoned. We have people living behind stores. We have people living in commercial buildings that are not used. It's a public safety issue. It's a health crisis for the people living there. We have people who have started fires. Why are these people there? HB 1365 passed in 2024 made it illegal for people to camp in public spaces. The problem is a lot of the people who are doing that have nowhere else to go, and they're the hardest to serve. So, was that my beep? Sorry. Okay, so I have a short list. Very important to be helpful is Ride Solutions. Most of the services are in Palatka. People have no transportation to get there. They're either on foot or on a bicycle.
Ma'am, I do need you to speed it up, so if you have a list, let's hear the list.
Funding mental health services, funding supportive housing, and as well for rural areas, making sure that funds go to each rural county and that the homeless count actively includes each rural county. Also, very important, facilitating funds and procedures so that people are not discharged from hospitals, jails, and prisons into homelessness, which is a serious problem now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, next up we have Joy Mitchell, Friends of Duns Creek State Park. How would I have guessed that was you?
This is a font I can read from it.
You're recognized.
Good morning, Senator Leek and Representative Sapp. Again, I'm Joy Mitchell. I'm president of Friends of Duns Creek State Park. Last January, Sam Carr spoke to you on behalf of Putnam County Waterways and Trails Committee, led by Commissioner Alexander. Mr. Carr asked you to consider funding for the development of Duns Creek State Park. The request was supported by the entire Putnam County Board of Commissioners. Today, I want to thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Alexander, Representative Sapp and Shorty Robbins for listening and taking steps towards our request. Shorty has visited the park, as has Josh Alexander. Shorty's now working with the county and Friends of Duns Creek State Park on an appropriation request in accordance with the park's unit management plan. So this is so encouraging for our members and our volunteers. We contribute well over $93,000 in volunteer hours a year. We all personally have some skin in the game, and we look forward to working with you on this appropriation. Thank you so much. Our 3 minutes in January has paid off very well. We really appreciate you.
Well, thank you very much.
Any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Daryl Perritt in Crill Now, Inc. Mr. Perritt, going once, going twice. All right, we'll move on. Next up, we have Katie Bonnet, Alliance for Safety and Justice. Oh, wow. Going once, going twice. All right. Now we have some additions to the agenda of people who have come and signed up today. We're going to start with Brenda Bridges, tax collector. Everyone cheer the tax collector.
They were threatening to throw tomatoes at me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here today. Again, I am Brenda Bridges, Putnam County tax collector. As you know, tax collectors, there are several ways that our offices operate. The Putnam County Tax Collector Office is a fee office, so we do not receive appropriations from the county. And you'll be glad to know that I am not here to ask for an appropriation from the state. You do, exactly. I do periodically reach out to your offices for support. For the Florida Tax Collectors Association, we do periodically present bills for the protection of life and safety for all of the executive branches that we represent. So as tax collectors, even though tax collector is the name on the door, we are more than that. We represent all of the executive branches of government, Department of Highway Safety, Department of Agriculture, Department of Health, Florida Fish and Wildlife, and the list goes on and on. As a fee-based office, our office last year, 3 offices in this county, processed approximately 580,000 transactions, and all of those transactions supported by fees that the legislature approves. And so every year at the end of our fiscal year, we turn those fees over to the taxing authorities in a proportionate share, and we will do that this year as well. We have presented bills in the past, and you will see more that regard to highway safety and motor vehicle for driver's license. And as Florida continues to grow, we're working very hard to work efficiently with that. So in addition to being here as a tax collector and not asking for any money, I'm also here to support my constituents. I'm here as a mother, a grandmother, a proud Rotarian, and a neighbor in support of everybody here. And I know your job is very hard. Everybody here joins you with a servant's heart. And so I ask that you support Putnam County as you have in the past, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Next up, and I'm going to do my best to read this writing, which quite frankly, a lot of it's my fault, but Boyd, who's here to talk about recurring funding for Putnam County's Flex Route Public Transit Service. If you'll just say your last name when you get up here. Thompson. Well, man, that is a struggle to read Thompson out of that. And my name is Thomas. So you're recognized.
I'm left-handed. This is our schedule that's going to be going into place. Senator Leek, Representative Sapp, I want to thank you for your championship and shepherding our $1.2 293 million appropriation through the 25 session. We haven't received the funding yet, but as soon as we do, we will fully reopen the Palatka City route. Once that's...
Have you requested the funding yet? I know we approved it, but you have to go request it too.
We've been told that it's imminent.
Thank you.
It's on the way. And then once that's up and running, the routes out in the county will reopen. Probably late October, early November for the routes out in the county. The Putnam County Flex Route system was unusual in that what it did was it coordinated the use of Medicaid, non-sponsored, med waiver, early on Council on Aging, and Head Start funding into a one-size-fits-all routed scheduled service that we were then able to open to the general public. So the Human Service Agency funds, because they were coordinated, the agencies got more mileage out of those, and then those funds were used to match FDOT funds. And those FDOT funds help support the opening of the service to the general public. That came apart as a result of Medicaid reform. Medicaid reform took Medicaid transportation out of that mix, and that was kind of, I don't know, one of the primary pillars of that construct. It's been impossible to put that back together. The appropriation will bring that up for a year, but we have to find a reoccurring method of funding this. We have a couple of ideas as to how to do that. One involves, and both of them I think do not require legislation, probably can be done with simply policy. The first being a recognition that Chapter 427 has not been supported by policy in the past, and therefore...
That's your time, sir, if you don't mind wrapping up.
Yep. We'll get in touch with your staff and get that under discussion with them.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, sir. And folks, we've hit the 11:30 mark, so we won't be taking any new signups because we have some business we've got to get done. So if you're not in now, I apologize. There's always the opportunity to sign up in advance, and they get priority. We've got 6 more cards, so 18 minutes, and then we have some business we got to take care of before we conclude the meeting at noon. So next up, and we're going to hold you to your 3 minutes if you don't mind. So next up, we have Amy Stanley and Stacia P. about the Mossman Home Preservation. I'm sorry I didn't try to pronounce your last name because I was just going to butcher it. Prochenik, thank you.
Get out here as fast as possible.
You're recognized.
Senator Leek, Representative Sapp, thank you for this opportunity to address you. My name is Amy Stanley. I'm representing the Mossman Home Preservation Foundation as president, and Stacia Prochenik is our treasurer. Carissa Williams is also here, our board member. Who are we? What do we do? Our nonprofit foundation has operated Mossman Hall since 2012. The Mossman property is located on the main road in Melrose at the epicenter of the greater Melrose area, which is a one-light town. Our grounds encompass 1.8 acres with several huge draping oaks and 2 historic buildings, the Mary Mossman Home built in 1881 and the Church Hall built in the 1920s. Mossman Hall is an art gallery and community center. We hold First Friday Art Walk openings every month with featured visiting artists in the hall and fabulous work from our member artists in the gallery. We have a fully equipped clay studio. We offer pottery classes twice a week. We offer weekly classes such as yoga, line dancing, kids Bible study, adult Bible study, beginner sewing, sound therapy, watercolor class, ham radio, coffee as a superfood, oil and acrylic painting, and many, many other classes. We have transformed a weedy, unused corner of our property into a food forest that now has 12 fruit trees and over 100 food-producing plants. We organize events, just some of this year's lists, like Valentine's Date Night, 80s Disco, Old Time Country Picnic, Masquerade Ball, Mossman Hall, Barbecue Brawl, which is coming up again in April, and we're looking for a few more
Do
judges.
that every time you say it?
Yes, it's required. We're looking for a few more judges, and if y'all like barbecue and lots of it, let's talk afterwards. In addition, all this we do in addition to our monthly art walks. We offer our space for town hall meetings and community group meetings when important issues need to be discussed. We serve over 10,000 people annually. Sounds like a lot of work to handle all these classes and events. Who does all this work? Volunteers. Mossman has no paid staff. Generous, hardworking people are drawn to Mossman, and we can accomplish all that we do because of our volunteers. We truly have the best group of people that I've ever encountered anywhere. How are we funded? We rely on art sales and donations from our community and artist member dues. We have shown a solid 20% growth in gross revenue in each of the last 3 years, and over the last 6 years have achieved over $422,000 in gross revenue. We are fiscally responsible. We have not received any government grants to date. We were awarded a $1,000 grant from Clay Electric, and that's the extent of our outside or government funding. What do we need and why now? It's more important than ever to protect and preserve our grounds and buildings. Melrose is changing. Several historic buildings in Melrose are for sale or vacant or scheduled to be demolished. And we don't want our town to lose its historic charm. We need to make sure that we don't lose Mossman.
Thank you, that's your time. I am going to recommend, as we move on to the next one, I apologize. I'm going to recommend that you reach out to the state. Just, you can talk to my office too. There are grants available without going through the legislature for this, for historic preservation. So I talk to those folks and they'll help you, point you in the right direction.
Yes, we did apply, but it was not funded
Okay.
this year. And
I need to move on, I'm sorry.
okay.
Melanie Soldavilla, Family Behavioral and Health Services.
Hey, and while you're walking up, just remember, while we appreciate all the thanks for what we've done, because it's your time, we got you. We appreciate, we're really thankful of that, and especially since we're on TV, we really love when we hear that, but we want to be respectful of your time, and you know, it's okay to go for the ask first, and then and the why, and then maybe embellish a little bit in case you run out of time. So I just want to make sure that you make the most of your time.
Thank you, you're recognized.
Thank you for having me. I am Melanie Soldavilla. I represent CDS Family and Behavioral Health Services, particularly the shelter here in Palatka. We have 3 shelters, one in Palatka, one in Gainesville, and one in Lake City. CDS operates well-established and respected behavioral management and delinquency, truancy, and substance abuse prevention programs in 11 North Florida counties, including Putnam County. Our mission is empowering youth and building strong families for a brighter tomorrow. While in our care, it's important for youth to get daily exercises. Youth should get at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity. Activities like running and climbing fulfill these needs by ensuring a variety of movements that support growth and development. Equipment such as a gaga ball pit or basketball court would fulfill these needs, but that obviously costs money, and we're a nonprofit, so that always gets put on the back burner when it comes to where our money needs to go. CDS's current playground equipment at their Palatka shelter is in need of an update to continue engaging youth in a more active and healthy lifestyle. We hereby request the delegation's support of our local funding request. Do you have any questions?
No, I think that's good. Thank you. Appreciate it. You can embellish all you want now, say great things about us.
Oh, you guys are amazing. Thank you for coming out to see us. And my biggest thing is you got my name right this time.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Next up, we have Kimberly Barrett, Children's Home Society. You are recognized.
Thank you. Good morning, Senator Leek and Representative Sapp. I'm Kimberly Barrett, Executive Director with the Children's Home Society of Florida, and I have Ms. Jacqueline Cox, who's our Family Resource Center Director, with me today. We appreciate the legislators' investment of $20.1 million in sustaining funding for our community partnership school model during the 25 legislative session, and we understand that that was to support 50 CPS schools statewide, so thank you for that. The Putnam County Family Resource Center is modeled similarly to a community partnership school here in Putnam County. It provides essential resources to the families in Putnam County, such as mental health and substance abuse outpatient services, emergency food pantry, professional clothing closet, as well as support groups for parents, teens, and families. In-house, we also have our Healthy Start team who support pregnant women and babies under 3 years of age, as well as our Mobile Response Team, or MRT. This is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week mental health crisis hotline, and this has shown to be instrumental in helping the Putnam County Sheriff's Office lower Baker Acts in the county by 40%. We're very proud of that. And that initiative shows that we're able to work collectively to bring better resources to those in our county. We are a hub in Putnam County in the community, providing information and connections to resources throughout the whole entire county. Our Putnam County Family Resource Center is funded locally, and we would like to invite you out to a tour of this Family Resource Center before the legislative session starts and you become very busy. We would love for you to see firsthand the resources that we provide to the community and the ongoing conversations that we look forward to having in order to grow this resource center to be a bigger hub for the families that we serve. That's all that I have right now.
Wow, great. Anything nice about us you'd like to add?
I just look forward to seeing
Okay,
you all.
that's
I'll be
awesome.
up there during an advocacy week and then see you on CPS Day, but this is about the FRC, and we do really hope that you can come out to see the facility. It's such a wonderful resource to be able to bring to everyone that we serve. Anything
Thank
from
you.
you, Jackie?
Anybody else with time left over if you want to compliment Representative Sapp's tie? Or
It's a great tie. I love the color red. Thank you both
very
for
much.
what you do. We appreciate you.
Next up, Jane Hafner. You're recognized.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm here as a parent, and I am here advocating for the home and community-based waiver. I've already asked for a meeting with you, Judson, for my husband and I, but I have a 47-year-old adult son with intellectual and developmental disabilities and intractable epilepsy. He has to have continuous monitoring for everything, even in the shower. But what I have had is, since 1993, he was on the community-based waiver, placed on that, and it has saved our lives. His support coordinator is always available 24/7. I can call her anytime. She calls me back within an hour or two. She helps us develop his purchasing plan and everything that relates to him. She's helped us get individualized services for him, and it has saved our lives. It's allowed my husband and me to keep him at home with us and allowed us to be part of our community. We're very active in the community, and we just want to keep him home as long as we can, but we know that one day he will be living at the art group home, and he goes to the day program now. So I'm just asking that you at least allow us to continue being able to be a part of that and not be placed on the managed care. All of his medical care is through Shands. I would hate to have to lose all that too. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Next up, from the Putnam Chamber of Commerce, we have Laura Parlis. I'm trying to read it. It could say Parks. I'm not sure. You're recognized.
My V's look like R's.
Sorry.
Good morning, Representative Sapp. Good morning, Senator Leek. Laura Pavlis with the Putnam Chamber, and with me today is Benji Bates, the chairman of the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce. And we are here first and foremost to thank you for your service to our community and to our state. We know that it was a arduous session last year, and we know you're gearing up for an equally arduous session this year. And we thank you and your staff for your tremendous work and efforts on our behalf. We could not be more grateful. We had a board meeting on Wednesday, and we wanted to convey the Board of Directors voted unanimously to support the legislative priorities of Putnam County Commission, the City of Palatka, and the Putnam County School District. And so we just wanted to convey that, and thank you very much. And we're here to serve you and help you throughout the session in any way that we possibly can. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Just one, sorry. One quick thing, it wasn't mentioned. I want to thank Representative Sapp. For those of you who don't know, we're having our first annual Putnam County Day at the Capitol, February 19th. So again, we're excited about that, looking forward to that, and thank you for making that happen.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing you. All right, thank you. Next up, we have Ryan Chandler, Association of Qualified Individuals, or excuse me, organizations. Mr. Chandler, you're recognized.
Thank you. Good morning, Senator Leek, Representative Sepp. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Ryan Chandler, and I serve as an iBudget waiver support coordinator and qualified organization owner here in Putnam County and the entire Northeast region of Florida. You've also heard from, or will hear from, 3 of my families that we personally serve here today. I'm here because the very future of the iBudget waiver, which has served Floridians with intellectual and developmental disabilities for more than 30 years, is at risk. There are proposals to move this system into managed care. On paper, managed care may sound efficient, but for my consumers, it could mean losing relationships, flexibility, and dignity that the waiver currently provides. As waiver support coordinators, we don't just connect people with services, we know our consumers personally, often for years, sometimes decades. We guide families through Medicaid renewals, SSI, SNAP, and other vital benefits. We connect them to community resources. We are the consistent point of contact in a complicated system. Replacing that personal connection with an 800 number is not just a change in administration, it is a loss of trust, stability, and care. Under managed care, companies are incentivized to cut costs by denying services. The Achieve Savings Rebate allows managed care companies to keep 7.5% of the allocated funds they do not spend on consumers. That 7.5% incentivizes managed care companies to delay, deny, or reduce services. It means fewer therapies, fewer supports, and fewer opportunities for people who already face incredible challenges. There is also a risk to continuity of medical care. On the managed care program, consumers are required to use doctors aligned with the managed care company managing the waiver. This means families could lose access to their longtime doctors and specialists because many providers are unwilling to contract with yet another managed care plan. For those with complex medical needs, changing doctors can mean dangerous interruptions in treatment. Another important consideration is the CDC Plus program, our state's participant-directed option. Currently, there is no true equivalent under managed care. The proposed alternative offers fewer services and far less flexibility, stripping families of the control they rely on to tailor supports to their loved ones.
You have about 30 seconds left, sir.
Okay. Florida has an effective waiver program. What it needs is adequate funding, support, and responsible management, not dismantling. My consumers want independence, dignity, and stability. That is what the waiver offers. Managed care has had devastating effects in dental care and ABA in Florida and can not be trusted to meet the unique needs of the population whose lives depend on the consistency and of the extensive supports and services they receive.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Folks, that concludes the testimony that we've got here today. It's now time for some final remarks, and I'm going to forego most of my final remarks simply so we could give more people more time to speak. But I'll tell you, thank you for participating in the process. You all inform us on the direction that we need to go, and without the information, we can't be experts on everything. So without the information that you give us, we wouldn't necessarily know which way to go or to know it's an issue. I can tell you this, for far too long, communities like ours have get overlooked, and I'm tired of it. So as long as you honor me with the opportunity, I'll continue to fight for you. Thank you. Representative Sapp.
Thank you, Senator. Technically this is supposed to be a part-time job. Obviously it's not, or we are paid as if it were a very bad part-time job, and that's acceptable. It's what we accepted when we came here. But the reason I bring that up is because we can't do this without our staff. And for example, I was thanked for Putnam County Days, but all credit to Tammy Still, who has been a member of the support staff of the House for a long time, and it helped set up Rural County Days to start with and recognize the need for it. And that's the thing, is we get a lot of credit for a lot of the hard work our staff does. And so when you set up a meeting with us, if they go, hey, you're going to meet with me first, you're in good hands. And often it's because we're trying to do something like maybe take our children to school that day and see them when we didn't get to see them, or take our wives out so because they don't get to see us much. So know that when you're with our staff, you are in amazing hands, and then they bring it to us, and we talk about everything, and we work as a team to get it done, and we work as a team too. And I'm so blessed to work with you. I've heard wonders from him, from Rep. Payne for the years, and it's a privilege to actually get to work alongside him. I didn't get the room with you, but oh well. I didn't get that privilege, but it's an amazing county, and the best days are forward of us, and we look forward to helping make that happen.
Unlike Representative Sapp, my staff doesn't do anything. It's all me. I get all the credit. He's 100% right. We just simply cannot do this without the folks around us, and they really do make sure things get done. One of the last orders of business that we have here today is to elect a new chair and a vice chair of the delegation. Seeing that the delegation is the two of us, this should go relatively smoothly. I'll nominate Representative Sapp for chair. All in favor say aye. I think you're conflicted out, so that leaves me. I'm going to need a little time. But aye. By your vote, Representative Sapp will serve as the new chair of the Putnam County Legislative Delegation. I should have been so flippant. You get to go last.
That's right. Let's see. So now I get to nominate the vice chair. So I nominate Senator Leek for the vice chair, which you cannot say no to. So all in favor say aye. Aye. By the vote, Senator Leek will serve as your new vice chair for Putnam County Legislative Delegation. I'll now, oh, no, that's yours.
That's me. I will now turn it over to the new chairman, Representative Sapp, and I move that we adjourn.
Second. We adjourn.
Thank you all very much.